Okay, we're going to continue in our series this morning with Dave Ramsey, and we thought it would be good for you this morning to kind of hear a story from one of our own. And so we've asked Jeremy to come up here. And for you, those of you who don't know, Jeremy is a person who has been I would call a student of Dave Ramsey for a number of years now. A lot of the principles that you're going to hear Dave talk about this morning, Jeremy has applied to his own life and his situation. And so we wanted him just to share a little bit about that this morning before you hear from Dave. And so Jeremy, for those who don't know, why don't you give them a little background about kind of where you found yourself a few years ago financially?
Sure. We had, my wife and I had never really had any savings before. We were living paycheck to paycheck. We were paying partial payments on some of our bills. We were robbing Peter to pay Paul to get by. We were always fighting about money. We had car payments. I had started my own business, which went belly up in 2002 because we tried to build a business with debt, and it forced us into bankruptcy. And so we'd been through some financial courses, books, and seminars in the past, and we always left those things feeling really defeated. Because we thought there was something wrong with us because we could never get that magic budget to work. We were having trouble just staying current on everything, let alone doing any saving, investing, or retirement.
And so what was like the final straw? What happened that made you guys finally go, you know what, we can't do this on our own, we need some help?
Well, my wife is the natural saver and I'm the natural spender, and so it took me a lot longer to get there than it did her. But, you know, I don't know that there was anything magic about it. We just got to the point where we got mad. We got sick of it. You know, I was like, we are not going to live this way anymore. I didn't want to work my whole life and have nothing to show for it. And I didn't want to spend that time fighting with her about money all the time. And Dave's program just came along at the perfect time for us.
Okay, so you get into Dave Ramsey and you start applying his principles to your life. So now you're a little on the other side of that. How do things look now for you financially?
Well, because we were disorganized, we made some basic changes. For example, we put all our utilities on a budget system so that we would not have any big surprises month to month, and that helped our budget a little bit. Then we signed up for electronic drafts on our tithe to the church. That way we'd always be sure to honor God first with our money, and that we wouldn't, get into a crunch where we paid a car payment or something and didn't get our tithe or whatever the situation was that month, because that was happening to us. So then in the first 9 months of doing Dave's baby steps, so this is 9 months, we saved $1,000 in our emergency fund. We paid off about $8,000 in debt and paid for a vacation and Christmas with cash for the first time. Then we refinanced our home to a 15-year fixed rate, and we paid cash for the closing costs. And we're now debt-free except the house. We're on baby step 3, which is building up our fully funded emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. We're not quite there yet, but we're working on it. And honestly, I can't remember the last time Mandy and I had a money fight. It's been so long now. We're in total agreement now about our finances.
Could you guys applaud that? There's not a whole lot of people who, that's awesome, yeah. So what was the hardest part of that whole journey?
Well, for us, it was definitely keeping that emergency fund built up. Life's hard, things happen, bad stuff happens to everybody, and so we had appliances go out, we had medical bills, home repairs, we had family emergencies that hit us hard. And so it's discouraging when that stuff happens and you want to quit and you want to spend and you want to escape and you want to get out of that. But there's a determination of, no, I'm not going back. We're doing this. And so you realize that, hey, I actually have the cash to pay for an appliance when it goes out. That's new. So let's celebrate that, even though the bank account dropped again. Let's celebrate that. So you just got to keep in mind we are making progress. Dave's plan does work.
And Dave said that last week. He's not selling he's not selling microwaves, selling crock pots. It's a slow process. Yeah. Just in closing, any words of encouragement to someone sitting out here this morning who maybe just thinks, hey, that's your story, but mine's hopeless?
Sure.
Just some encouragement?
Just know that it's not hopeless. It seems overwhelming, but the plan does work. It takes time. Is it hard? Yeah, it's hard. I'll be the first to admit it's hard, but it's worth it. It's worth it. You know, the freedom and the peace that you feel when you lay your head on the pillow at night, and you know, there's just something you'd never give up and go back into debt for. So I would also suggest that people sign up for the free Dave Ramsey Show podcast. It's 1 hour of his radio show every day on your computer or your iPod, and that really kept us motivated and kept us fired up and kept giving us a fresh injection of his intensity. So those are my suggestions.
Thanks, Jerem. Thanks very much. Yep.